welcome to the Victorious Living Solutions podcast. I'm your host, Nikeya Young, and I'm so excited that you have decided to tune in and get your life today because we got an exciting topic. Well, it depends. Today's topic is titled Thriving Through Chaos. Thriving Through Chaos. So, is chaos exciting? Yeah, but not in the way that we would like. But as we're talking about all through season 4, this is thriving season. We talked in season 3 about surviving toxic relationships. And so this season, we're talking all about how to thrive. And so before we get into thriving through chaos, let's just go over a few quick definitions. So the definition of thrive means to prosper, to be fortunate or successful, to grow or develop vigorously, to flourish. Those are just some definitions that I picked up about the word thrive on dictionary.com. And that is where we want to be. Like, that is what Victorious Living Solutions is all about, honey. We are all about thriving over here. We want you to crush your goals despite life's challenges, because life be lifing, honey, and live victoriously. So that is what we help you do here at Victorious Living Solutions. Let's talk about then, what does chaos mean? And here's some definitions for that. Chaos means a state of utter confusion or disorder, total lack of organization or order, any confused or disorderly mass. So those are some definitions of chaos. And raise your hand if you've ever been in a season that has felt quite chaotic to you. You may or may not be in a chaotic season right now. And when we think about chaos, our whole definition of that has shifted somewhat. There were things that we thought were chaotic, baby, but then 2020 hit out, and 2020 came, the pandemic, all of that. We were like, oh, honey, what I thought was chaos, that wasn't chaos. This right here is chaos. There was nothing more chaotic than the pandemic. We just didn't know what to do. We were out here washing groceries, wearing masks. We were just out here like just trying to figure stuff out, social distancing, wanting to square up and fight people if they cough next to us on the train. It was just a crazy time to be alive. And when our kids grow up and ask us about that time, they're just going to be like, this is so unserious. Are you for real? There's no way that happened in real life. Oh, yes, honey, it did. So 2020 was a rather melodramatic form of chaos that none of us asked for. But sometimes it's not even anything that drastic. Sometimes the chaos can just be a really, really exceptionally busy season in your life where there are a lot of moving pieces. So many moving pieces, in fact, that you don't even really have time to catch your breath or plan or figure out what the heck's going on. You had one plan and then life took you over the river and through the woods and you never got to grandmother's house. You just traveling, right? Just chaos, things that come with life. And so today I wanted to give you 5 tips for how to thrive through chaos. Okay? So let's get into it. Here is number 1. The first thing to do to thrive through chaos is to give yourself a period to grieve. Okay? So grieve means just a time to mourn, a time to feel and acknowledge your disappointment in the loss of your original plans. Okay? It's very normal to feel disappointed when you had your picture of how you thought things were going to go, and then things didn't go that way at all. And now you're having to adjust and deal with things that you didn't ask for. This was not a part of the plan. So give yourself a moment to feel that. That is real. Okay? You may want to do some journaling about it. You may want to just go alone, sit in a coffee shop and just kind of be like, what happened? What was that about? How did I get here? And kind of jot down some of your feelings about that. What are some things you learned? Okay, so give yourself that time. Grieve your original plans. Ready for step 2? Step 2 is to decide to thrive. Step 2 is the most important step, okay? You give yourself the time to grieve in step 1, but baby, you cannot camp out there and just pitch a tent and be there for extended periods of time. You got to get up and acknowledge, okay, it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. I allowed myself to feel the disappointment and the frustration. Okay, I'm over it and I'm about to thug it out and decide that I'm going to thrive anyway. Okay, so thriving is a decision. You have to be fully confident that that's what you're going to do. Okay, yes, chaos is happening all around me. Yes, the odds are more than stacked up against me, but what we not going to do is not hit that goal. Oh, we're going to hit that goal. We're going to crush it. Okay, so you make that up in your mind. Not getting to this goal is not an option. And then you allow all of your actions going forward to line up with your decision. Okay, so that's going to take us into that third step. So all of your actions are lining up. You've made a decision that you're going to thrive. Step 3 is where you gather your supporting evidence. Okay, so scriptures, affirmations, devotionals, any kind of things, materials that you can gather to support your mindset. You're altering your mindset. Okay, you're taking your mindset from, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is possible. In fact, it seems quite impossible. You're taking your mindset away from that and you're shifting it to, I'm doing this thing. Okay, I'm doing it. And so all of your evidence that you're gathering, be it you can make yourself a motivational playlist. I highly recommend that. And play it when you're on the elliptical at the gym, in your car, wherever you go. So you're hearing songs that make you think of victory. I've got a suggestion for you. It just so happens I wrote some songs like that a long time ago. Actually, about a decade ago, in 2013, I put out a whole album full of songs like that. And you know what that album is called? Victorious One. You can find it on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, anywhere you get your music. That album is there, baby. You can go to victoriousliving.com and click on the shop. If you want a CD, I know you young people are like, what is a CD? A compact disc, baby. I will autograph a compact disc of songs for you and send it to your address if you buy one from the shop at victoriousliving.com. So every song I put on there, Victorious One, I wanted people to feel like Holy Ghost filled Thundercats when they played that album. Everything is hype, is kind of house music, hip hop, R&B vibes. Everything is like designed to get you moving, to get you motivated. I still, even though that album is 10 years old, I still listen to songs like Get Your Mind Right and Taking Dominion. Side note, the theme music that you hear at the beginning of this podcast, that's actually one of the songs. That's the song Taking Dominion. So the Lord really downloaded that song, all of those songs into us, and we put our best work, my husband and I. He was the executive producer. I wrote the songs, he did the music. And even though it's 10 years old, it is still hitting today. It is still, the music it was way ahead of its time. You'll love it. So that's one suggestion. You may have some other songs that you like. Get you some scriptures, get you some motivational podcasts. You know, this one, you're doing good tuning into this one. There's some others out there too. But what you want to do is basically build yourself up and get yourself all the supporting evidence that you can. Find some specific scriptures to your situation. So that is very important. You want to have some scriptures that speak to exactly where you are, exactly what you're believing God for, exactly what you're striving to do. And confess those scriptures every night. Put them on index cards, post-its. Y'all know the drill. You're reprogramming. So all of that is step 3. So first, you allow yourself a period to grieve your original plans not going the way you wanted them to go. That's step 1. Step 2, okay, the grieving period can't last forever. Get over it and decide to thrive. Step 3, you're going to gather your supporting evidence, your scriptures, your affirmations, your Victorious One playlist, your devotionals, whatever have you. And then we get to step 4. Step 4 is one of my favorite things to do individually and one of my favorite things to do in terms of coaching others how to do. And that is writing your vision. Okay, you have to have a vision. If you're going nowhere, any road will get you there. But have a vision, have a plan. So just like you took the time to grieve the loss of your original plans, this step is taking a moment to make some new plans. Okay, my other plan didn't go the way I wanted it to go. In this writing the vision, you're going to take some time to course correct, and you're going to draft a new vision based on where you are now. Okay, so this vision needs to be clear. It needs to be concise. It needs to be placed somewhere where you can see it each and every day. And I'm saying a vision, but it's basically, the best way to think about it is whatever the chaos looks like right now, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to envision what you want yourself to look like on the other side of the chaos. I want you to get a very vivid picture of that in your mind. And then I want you to start jotting down what that looks like. Okay, that's a vision. You're envisioning it. And then you're going to write some goals. So the vision is the big picture. And the goals are step by step how you get there. Okay? So all of that is step 4. Now, we get to the final step. This step is, I would say, optional, but it depends on how chaotic the situation is. That's what I'll say. So this step says, prepare, don't panic. Prepare, don't panic. And let me tell you why I included this step. So many of you already know, unless you've been living under a rock, that we had a very unfortunate event happen on October 7th. We had an attack in Israel. Israel was brutally attacked, and the war is ongoing by Hamas. They killed so many people that were attending a music festival. They went through the town. They kidnapped people, women and children. Just horrible atrocities that are currently taking place in Israel and Gaza right now. And so it has a lot of us thinking. I know here at Victorious Living Solutions, our hearts were just broken like all of you, I'm sure, hearing that news and seeing those images and just being like, Lord, this is the Holy Land. How can something so awful happen there? Yeah, they've been fighting for years, but this feels like something else. There's a shift happening. And many people have been speculating that this attack may have just marked the beginning of World War III. And is that a scary thought? Yes, it is. Talk about chaos. I know I've been thinking about it. You may well have been too. We just went through 2020 and the 2 to 3 years of isolation that followed. We don't want to have to be dealing with a worldwide cataclysmic event of war. We all got the alerts on our cell phones, the practice emergency test on our cell phones. And we're like, man, what if something like that happened here? Anything is possible, right? So there's things we can control, and there's things that we absolutely have no control over. That's just facts. But what we can do is focus on the things that we can control. What can we do? We can pray, and we should pray. We should be interceding for our government leaders. We should be interceding for Israel and for Palestine, all the innocent people who have been killed on both sides of the conflict. We should be praying for protection for those in that region. Okay? This should just be a time of intercession, not a time of division. But we should also be doing this fifth and final step, which is preparing, but not panicking. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound and well-balanced mind. So we're not going to live in a spirit of fear. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? What if that happens? Right? We can prepare, and there's a ton of things on Pinterest that can show you all about survival preparedness and things that you can kind of slowly start to stockpile. That's something you can do. I think that's a smart thing to do anyway. But on the other side of that, while you're preparing, don't panic. Don't subscribe to the fear that the media is feeding you. Turn it off. Turn it off. That panic mindset, that fear-mongering mindset, that spirit of division that Satan is trying to insert. We've got people on all the social media outlets fighting, and I stand with Palestine, and I stand with Israel, and oh, I can't believe you stand with Israel. You're a bigot if you stand with Israel. You Zionist. Oh, I can't believe you stand with Palestine. You stand with terrorists. You see what's going on? The division, the bumping of heads, and people who are Christians are even getting caught up in some of this. We don't have time for that, y'all. We really don't. If that's what this information is making you do, that's all the more reason for you to change your channel, okay? In addition to preparing in the natural, make sure you're spiritually prepared, okay? And I'm just using this worldwide chaos as an example because that's a big example. And if you are too affected by what's going on in the outside world, it can cause chaos in your personal life because now that chaos has entered your mind. And now you're so preoccupied with what's going on and how it could affect your family and how it could affect this country. Nothing's even happened yet, but you're just like, oh my gosh, what if it does? And pray. Give that to God. Give all that anxiety and worry and fear to God, casting all your cares upon him. That's what it tells us to do in the Word of God. Okay? Don't get pulled into arguments on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. Don't get pulled into those arguments. Okay? That's no place for a thriving person. Going back to step 2, you have made a decision to thrive. So do whatever makes you feel secure in terms of preparation, but don't panic. So those are my 5 steps. Grieve the loss of your original plans, number 1. Number 2, decide to thrive. Number 3, gather your support and evidence that helps reinforce your decision to thrive. Number 4, write your vision, okay? Your altered vision. And then the goals are the steps that you're going to take to get to that big picture that you see. And then you're going to prepare because that's something you do have control over. But don't panic, okay? God will keep you in perfect peace if you keep your mind stayed on him. And those are my 5 tips for how to thrive through chaos. I hope that it has blessed you in a special way. Keep living victoriously. Bye, everybody.